Hello, and welcome to Nashville Masterclass. I am James Fitzgerald May, and today I think we're going to mainly talk about what it's like in the day-to-day life as a drug addict. Now, in this channel, I'll be going over a lot of things, and mostly stories about my life as a drug addict. But I thought today we'd talk more in general. Well, if you're an opiate addict, your day starts off with you waking up, hearing the birds sing, your neighbor wash his car, and wishing you were dead the first second you open your eyes, because you know you woke back up into your living nightmare. Now, you probably only got a few hours of sleep, and it started about 5 in the morning, and now it's 10 or 11, and you missed any chance of catching your mom or someone before they go to work to get money. Probably missed a ride. Now you're panicking. If you didn't get any drugs the day before, you never slept. You're still awake. Now let's say you actually have money on you already, which you don't, but even if you did, you gotta wait for the dope man to get up. And it varies, all over the place. In Los Angeles, already up at 4:30 in the morning, but if you've overslept, you're not going to be seeing those guys. I've had drug dealers that didn't wake up till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But you don't have money because you're pathetic and you don't have a job. Even if you do have a job, you still don't have money because everything goes to dope. So you're going to start thinking about what you can pawn, who you can beg, or what you can steal. And as the minutes and hours go by, when you're trying to figure this out, you get sicker and sicker. Now, the first day, the first few hours, it's mostly yawning, teary eyes, maybe some sneezes, and you may say that's not so bad. But you also get this very sick, uneasy, frightened feeling because of what's to come. In movies, they say after 4 or 5 days, you're fine. It's not true. That's not how it goes at all. Just to stop the worst of it, but even then, it doesn't stop for weeks. It just goes on and on, depending on what you have, like fentanyl. God, you can't even take Suboxone, which is a drug to help you get off of it, for 3 days because it stays in your system that long. And it takes a long time. Suboxone itself can take up to a month to withdraw off of, and methadone up to half a year. And I don't care what books or what doctor says what, because doctors will also tell you that withdrawal is like a bad flu. Well, have any of you guys had a bad flu that was so bad you would rob your mother or steal something, or some people kill over it? No, you haven't, because that's not how it feels like. Me or any other drug addict would rather be beaten with a baseball bat than go through withdrawal. And it, it progresses as the day goes on. And you're going to have as it gets worse, migraine headache, because your pupils are dilated and you take in all the light through your dilated pupils. You have severe stomach cramps that turn into throwing up. And it's not like when you have a stomach virus, you're going to be throwing up every few minutes, just throwing up yellow bile. And the same with the diarrhea. It's going to be happening every few minutes, no matter what. You're going to be just a cascade going out of both ends. And you will not sleep. Not at all. Not for weeks. So you might as well get that out of your head, because that ain't gonna happen. I wait for someone upstairs to close the door. No, gives me any respect around here at all, especially the dogs. So as you're going through all that torment, it doesn't sound bad, but the worst part is this electric current that goes through your body and flexes all your muscle, all of them at once, where it's like you're holding a concentric movement isometrically, where your muscles can't unflex. And that is why you can't sleep, because if you flex all your muscles, try and relax, well, you just can't. You'll flail, and that's where the term kicking the habit comes from. It doesn't mean kicking it like a can, it means literally kicking with your legs is where that term comes from. So you know that's what's in your future, and that's why you're freaking out already, even when the symptoms haven't really got so bad yet. Your mind will remind you what you're in store for, and that sends you into panic mode. It makes you kind of feel those already. So you don't have anything in your house to pawn, because you pawned everything already. You don't have anybody to call because nobody trusts you, because you're a manipulator and a liar. No one's going to give you anything, and the tells the grandma about your job at NASA that you just need some money for a new pair of pants, or your car's broken down, you need a new flux capacitor, just don't fly anymore. No one believes anything you say. So you're probably going to steal. And it can go from going around looking to see if anybody's left any tools on their porch, or the great go into Walmart, shoplift, bring something out, give it to someone else, and go back in and get a gift card scam that everybody does, because you'll find a pawn shop or some other unsavory character to take it for 50 cents on the dollar. Now let's say you finally got your money. Well, now you gotta chase down your dealer. You gotta hope he's not re-upping, because when they say they gotta re-up and they'll call you in 30 minutes, means you're probably not gonna have anything that day at all. Or you might have to go from one place to the other. If you go to an open air drug market, you also run the risk of cops watching you. A lot of dealers will have you go to one place, and then you get there and they'll go, oh no, I want you to go to this place, and you go to the other place, and then you drive all the way to Australia and then to China, and then they finally say, okay, stay there. And about 5 months later, they tell you they can see the back of your car, they're pulling up on you, man. And then maybe next week they'll show up there, maybe. And let's hope they didn't sell you bunk drugs. I've had a lot of times where my dealers, I couldn't get a hold of them at all. So I went around just asking people, and there's a lot of, there's plenty of people in those areas that are more than happy to take your money, because you're in a place you shouldn't be anyway. If the cops catch you there, they're going to pop you because they know what you're there for. And so does stick-up boys, and so does anybody that just wants to mug you. And I've been mugged, stabbed. I've been arrested, waiting on my drug dealer. I've had a girl go into seizures waiting on the drug dealer. I had a girl that sat in the trash bag because she couldn't stop the diarrhea and vomiting, so she just sitting there in my car in the front seat doing both. And it wasn't pretty at all. So, okay, now you got your drugs. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I have one beagle running around. I have a 110-pound Labrador. He's doing something damaging somewhere. My cat, thinks he's planning on murdering me, or at least having me murdered. You finally get the drugs. Now, do you do them there where you got them? Cops catch you, they may pop you before you even get to do it. And if you drive home, who knows what could happen? You get pulled over, you could, any number of things can happen at any time. Well, you get home, you could overdose, it might not be real, and now you're all the way back home. But even if they are, the feeling, okay, so even before you do anything, the elation you feel is amazing because you know you finally got what you need. Come here. Because you know you finally got what you need. The difference between an addict and a normal person is a normal person could be in the hospital and get a shot of morphine or take a Vicodin, and they either don't like it or they're like, oh, that feels good, and that's it. An addict, we all say, well, that's how I want to feel for the rest of my life. So we spend the rest of our life chasing it, but never really quite catching it, and that feeling is really a lie. When you get home, you're going to go back into your introverted loneliness. I've been so alone that I didn't talk to anybody, but the few seconds I said a few words to my dealer, and that was it. And then I started talking to myself just to stop being so lonely, and that, you know, calls me even to this day to, you know, if I think of something funny, I'll start laughing and mouthing the words, and people grab their children and make a wide berth around me, which I can't blame them. I would anyway. I'm very off-putting. Loneliness is what's going to be your constant companion. So your only companion is your loneliness. And the constant overall fear of your entire hopeless life, because the drugs have depleted your serotonin and your dopamine. So everything in the world is ugly. That's why it's so hard to get clean and stay clean, because you need the serotonin and to feel happy inside. You take what you feel inside and attach it to the place and time and events and things that are around you. So if you're in constant fear of everything around you, you think the world is some awful, terrible place. But the things that you do attach these happy memories to are the people you get drugs from, the people you do drugs with, the places you get drugs, and where you get high. This is where you have serotonin and dopamine flooding through your mind, and that's why you attach these happy feelings to them. And that's why when people try to go through recovery, it's about impossible, because the only happiness they know are these people and places and things that are dangerous to them, because everything else looks ugly and unattractive. One of the reasons it's hard, but that's why it's hard to stay sober. You know, once you get clean, why is it so hard? Why do addicts always go back? That's why we've attached all our happy feelings with these people, places, and things, and that's all we know. And it takes a very long time to peel away the layers of that onion and get to the core trauma of what started these actions in the first place. I think my next upload is going to be about recovery. There's a lot of pitfalls. You know, there's a lot of predators in recovery. There are predators like people preying on on young girls that are just getting clean because they're very easily manipulated. They are the halfway houses, the rehabs, that just want to take your insurance money, kick you right out the door, bring you back in as soon as you relapse. The doctors that work in the field. AA is a good place However, it needs an update, you know, even using the same rules for alcohol and opiates works in theory, but I don't think Bill Wilson could have foreseen what is happening in our day and age and all the little nuances that are different and need to be addressed, and also to have a sponsor that is just a few months clean, which definitely happens all the time, and that's the person that's supposed to lead you into recovery. No, that doesn't bode well. I don't know how many people I've seen that's had their sponsor relapse, and how do you think they react to that? Well, they can't do it. They put all their hope into them, and they can't do it. But it's not hopeless at all, and AA and NA are a very good place to start and finish. Some people take right to it, and there's a lot of different ways. So we'll talk about that in my next upload, and then I will start with one of my favorite things I'm going to do, which is telling my own stories of drug addiction. And I've got hilarious stories. I could tell one every single day, and I would not run out of material for years. And unlike the guy who wrote 1,000,000 Pieces, everything I say is true. And just as outlandish and unbelievable as this stuff is, and you'll find out, it's all true. I will never tell you a lie. Did I just lie? Well, anyway, thank you for watching. If you heard something here that you can relate to, well, keep coming back, because one thing I want to start is a community where addicts that feel like they can't go to certain places, rehabs, or AA, they don't feel like they can, and they can, but need a place to talk about the things they've been through. Well, this is a great place to do it. And I will upload several times every week, because as a disabled Army veteran, I've got nothing better to do. Sit here and pet my dogs and practice the oboe. Oh, and speaking of oboe, I will be doing some lessons on music theory and guitar pretty soon. So I would say I hope to see you guys soon, but I can't see you. You can only see me because I'm the important one. You guys have a good day, and seriously, take care of yourselves and try to love yourselves.